So we've been talking about how OpenClaw gives AI hands, right? But what happens when you have no idea who's actually coding those hands? Well, that question, it takes us right into the heart of the ClawHavoc crisis. This is the moment a really powerful ecosystem became a massive, massive security failure.
341. Now, that's not just some random number. It's the scale of a truly catastrophic security failure. We're talking about 341 malicious packages, or skills as they call them, found just lurking on ClawHub, OpenClaw's official marketplace. So how on earth did they get there? Let's dig in.
Okay, so picture this. Early February 2026, a group of researchers basically stumbles upon a digital crime scene, and hiding right there in plain sight on the official ClawHub were 341 of these skills. And look, each one was a carefully laid trap. They weren't designed to help your AI agent. Oh no, they were designed to completely and totally compromise it.
And you gotta understand, this wasn't some minor bug or a small oversight. Security analysts immediately flagged this as one of the most severe threats the platform had ever faced. Seriously, this was a critical turning point. The moment OpenClaw went from being seen as this incredible, powerful tool to a really serious, high-stakes attack surface.
So the big question is, how did this even happen, right? How did a marketplace everyone trusted become a total minefield? Well, the method they used was both incredibly simple and deeply, deeply deceptive.
The technique is called fake prerequisites. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a digital Trojan horse. You think you're downloading a gift, something useful, right? But what you don't see is that it's secretly walking an enemy right through your front door, and it's disguised as just another necessary component.
And the process was just dangerously simple. A user runs a single command. That's it. One command to install something they think is useful. But in the background, a malicious payload is being downloaded and executed. I mean, you could literally be getting up to grab a coffee while your entire system is being taken over.
And that payload, it had a name, Atomic Stealer. Now, this wasn't some brand new cutting-edge malware. It was a known information stealer, but it had been specifically adapted for this attack. Its one and only job was to just loot the digital lives of every OpenClaw user it could find.
And just look at what it was built to harvest. This was not a quick smash and grab. This was a complete digital heist. We're talking browser passwords, cookies, cryptocurrency wallet data, and the real prize, OpenClaw authentication tokens, the literal keys to the kingdom. It even logged your keystrokes and took screenshots of your screen. The theft was total. Everything.
And this is the crucial point. This wasn't just a technical hack. It was an exploit of trust. The attackers didn't even need to break down the door because, well, the platform's own philosophy had left it wide open for them.
This right here, this is the heart of it. The attackers exploited a super simple, very human assumption. Hey, if it's on the official hub, it must be safe. It must be vetted. That implicit trust, that was the real vulnerability.
And that assumption? It just clashed violently with the reality of the situation. You see, while users were expecting this secure, curated, walled garden, ClawHub was actually operating more like an open field, prioritizing frictionless publishing and rapid growth over everything else, especially security.
And the evidence for this is pretty damning. The platform was open by default. There was no security review before a skill went live, none. A skill was instantly installable the second it was uploaded, and all an attacker needed to get started, a 7-day-old GitHub account. That's it. It was an architecture built for speed, and the attackers they outran them.
So, once the breach was exposed, the focus immediately shifted to damage control. What was the real impact on users, and how did the platform respond to a crisis it had, frankly, enabled?
What made this threat so deceptive is that when you look at the numbers, those 341 malicious skills were a tiny, tiny fraction of the whole ecosystem, less than 1%. But this is a classic case of what analysts call fat-tailed risk. It's where a very small number of events can cause nearly all of the damage. A single crack can bring down the whole dam.
And the timeline just reveals how fast this all went down. The skills get uploaded in early February. By February 5th to the 7th, the breach is detected and disclosed. And then immediately after that, it's just a scramble of public warnings and the platform trying to coordinate with security outlets.
The guidance for users was intense. I mean, this wasn't your typical, hey, just change your password situation. Not at all. This was a full system cleanup. We're talking running malware scans, rotating every single password and API key you have, and manually going in to revoke any OpenClaw tokens that might have been compromised.
So when you really step back and look at the whole picture, it's pretty clear that ClawHavoc wasn't just a hack. It was a profound systemic failure. A failure of system design, of risk management, and honestly, of the social contract between a platform and the people who use it.
So let's try to make sense of this through a few different lenses. First up, let's borrow from media theorist Marshall McLuhan. He would probably say the problem wasn't just the code, it was the interface. ClawHub's whole user experience made installing powerful system-level code feel as casual and harmless as adding a new song to a Spotify playlist.
Okay, now let's switch to the lens of risk analyst Nassim Taleb. He points straight to the hidden danger. The system looked totally safe, right? 99 harmless installs for every one catastrophic compromise. The risk was completely invisible, right up until the moment it was absolutely catastrophic.
And finally, let's take a psychological perspective inspired by Rory Sutherland. The attackers won because they didn't just target machines. They targeted us, human nature. They gave their malware friendly names. They wrote helpful descriptions. They understood human psychology way better than the security team did.
So in the end, this is the final tally. The code itself, OpenClaw, it stayed open, a beacon of collaborative development. But the trust, that invisible pillar holding the entire ecosystem up, it didn't just crack, it evaporated.
And this whole thing leaves us with a question that goes way beyond OpenClaw. In a world that's obsessed with making everything frictionless, where every powerful action is just one convenient click away, what is the true cost of that single click?